We're doing a one god only run with the Queen of Hades, Artemis herself. So big crits, cast bullshit, whatever else happens, you know what I mean. Here's our mirror setup for Fated Authority. We're gonna take out Aspect of Rama. I mean, Artemis works well with Rama. Big chunks on the attack is probably gonna be the bread and butter. Start with the Chthonic Coin Purse. It'll be a shiny run. Here's our 32 heat setup. It's pretty wonky, but hopefully it'll be okay. Not too easy, not too challenging. Well, I mean, hopefully nice and challenging. Queen of Hades is Persephone, maybe by your standard. Oh my ginger god. I mean, you always do the twins, right? You always do the twins, right, chatties? Hey. Well, that's a good start, chat.
No use.
Okay. Bonk. Hello, Artemis. There she is. I don't know. You think this will be... Will this be harder or easier? Damage share. Yeah, that's a shared suffering. Will this be harder or easier than the Lucifer Dio run, at least? I think I know the answer. So it's a shiny run, but the dash makes a lot of sense here. More Artemis, thank you. Yeah, with Hunter's Dash, we're kind of like doubling up here. You think easier? I would guess so too.
Hear me on my authority.
Oh my god, you're so kind to me, Artemis. I could kiss you. Roll that.
What else we got?
Hermes only? There's no point, really. It would be like a shackle run. You get rush delivery, and I don't know. That's about all there is to it. I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but I don't think it would be especially interesting because there's just not enough boons, really. The build's already good. Yep. How does Dash Strike work with Rama? The same as all the other bow aspects. So if you start charging up an attack right after a dash with the bow, that counts as a Dash Strike. Chaos only. I gotta do one of those one of these days. There is something for it. Okay, we'll take an Epic Hunter's Mark. Does the game feel bad for me or something today? Uh-oh. There is some kind of mod that does chaos only, but... I mean, quote-unquote chaos only. Or rather, it just spams you with chaos gates.
Not yet.
Like every chamber has a chaos gate for you. Go this way first. I would have fought Charon, but Artemis is on the door, you know, chat. I wonder who could be in this mystery sack. Hey! Who knew? You have to take true shot.
Brimstones.
We didn't take Underworld Custies. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Hey. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. This could equate to large chunks later on, honestly. Maybe for the commons, I'll just throw the special out there, right? Fill the slot kind of thing. Save because I bet we can get a bigger PP than that, right? Oh my god. What do you think, the call? Okay. So Chaos still gives Chaos boons. Should we say Chaos not allowed, even though we've allowed Hermes? Can't remember if I avoided Chaos or not.
Delicious.
Hey, guess the call. I'll just go this way. Whatever. It's a made-up game. Points don't matter, etc., right, chat? Do 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 dong 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 dong. Come here. So yeah, to beat 32 heat, just do this. You know what I mean? Buckle. Why isn't the special hitting you, though? I have some complaints here. Oh, come on! What is this? Where's the attack? Or the dash? This is bullshit. Boom, boom, do, do, do. I'm broke. All right. Oh, man. Minute 25? It's a bit spicy. Maybe that's why I need to take the Chaos Gate. Bonk. Ooh. Oh, shit. Come here. Room layout for my Doomstone different. It's because of middle management, probably. That packs up. Bow weapon dash, 57%. Oh, so it's counting as a dash strike. The damage share is shared suffering, which makes sense. Okay, well, I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot else to see unless we get, like, support fire when it comes to that stuff. Okay, what do you think? Palmy Blossy?
Got to keep going.
Maybe? What's in here? Alright, you win.
Takes whole power.
Ball.
So much for Tartarus.
Arrowhead? Fuck the arrowhead. Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Chat, would you ever suggest that someone gets into trading cards for someone who's just looking for a hobby? Like, I'm looking for a hobby, right, chat? Would you suggest getting into trading cards? No, 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 no. Too expensive. No, no, no. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I thought. You know what I mean? But this dude, let me tell you, I guess we'll get Hermes now. Baseball cards, like any, like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards. I don't know what else exists out there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Could be for collecting, could be for playing purposes. The suggestion was for collecting purposes. This dude who's like a friend of a friend, kind of, is like, he specifically was talking about Magic the Gathering, kind of, but he's like, you gotta get into Magic. It's a great hobby. It's a great investment. It's just like, oh. That's a terrible idea, right? It's just so much money. It's crazy. Level 4 Artemis call? What is this? Great hobby, yes. Great investment, no. Yeah. It's, yeah, he's probably trying to sell sealed product, is the truth, right? Am I right or am I right? I mean, so this was suggested because another friend's wife was getting into, a friend of ours was trying to get his wife into, like, playing some video games. Not really, like, hobbies or something like that, but so, and so we're talking about, like, video games and just hobbies in general. And he's like, you gotta get her into Magic the Gathering, even though none of us are into it besides himself. Oh. Alright, sure. MTF of finance, bro. Yeah, like, They sounded like one of the crypto dealers almost at that rate. I didn't even know he was into Magic, but yeah, that's not like. Go ahead. Like I've bought a lot of Pokemon cards in my day, and it's fun, it's addicting, but I don't consider it like a good suggester hobby. If someone like asks you like what's a good hobby, I would not say that. How many palms can the call get though? Honestly, I want answers, chat. It's wild stuff. Wild stuff. I mean, if someone isn't into video games, the first games I'd suggest would probably be more like Minecraft, Stardew Valley. I don't know. I've never even played Minecraft, but I don't know. There must be something good about it. Like, I wouldn't suggest Hades to someone that doesn't play video games already a lot. Ah! Maybe like Animal Crossing seems like a decent suggestion.
Hear me on my authority.
Well, we have to take Hunter's Instinct. Way to go, chat. Kind of broke. Artemis? Artemis?
All aboard.
Photography? Maybe. Photography is not something I'd really consider. As long as you're... Okay, well, photography could get expensive depending what you want to do with it, right? Ooh. Like, if you start buying, like, really expensive camera equipment, that's one thing. But if you tell them, you know, just, like... I don't know. Where would you start, would you say?
Missed me, Lenny, and I missed you too.
Hey, Poetry. Like, you just take pictures with your, like, cell phone, but what would be the standard? Is it kind of like bird watching? Like, you just kind of, like, look out for certain things? I don't know. Camera phones are a good start. Yeah, they're pretty good. I would sooner suggest like Pokemon Go than trading cards. You know what I'm saying? In Pokemon Go, I'm pretty sure it's like microtransactions and shit in it. Yeah, it kind of feels weird to suggest like hobbies in general. It's like I don't really know what your current interests are. So it's kind of a strange thing. It's kind of like the people that come around, which isn't very often. It's just like, what game should I speedrun? It's like, well, I don't even know what games you like. So why would I suggest a game to speedrun? I don't even understand. Which, suggesting hobbies is so weird because it's one of the most intensely personal things. Yeah. I mean, I guess we can think of things that are just kind of easy to get into that aren't expensive, right? Because I think that's what it should be. Like an easy barrier to entry that don't cost a lot of money is probably the best way to do it. Doesn't require a bunch of equipment and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Dad must have it pretty good up here.
Help me, help me, help me. Cooking because you need the food anyway? That's kind of a decent idea when you think about it. I feel like we've had this discussion a lot on stream, which is like, what counts as a hobby technically? And I think like we kind of argue, like watching TV doesn't count. Maybe it can count. Woo! I like Point Blank better in case. There we go. We got the like the perfect hammer combo. Well, okay. Like watching TV kind of doesn't count. Now, why doesn't it count? Are we not interacting enough with it? What if you like go speak with a community who also watches the same TV shows? Does it then become a hobby at that point? You know what I mean? Does that make it a hobby in a sense? Too passive, you say? It could be. Come here.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Deadly Flourish. Pee-pee! If you watch movies for watching it, it isn't a hobby. Huh? You lost me a little bit. I think I know what you're getting at, though. Like, watching movies. I think there comes a point where it kind of is a hobby. It kind of just depends what you make of it. If you simply put a movie on and you watch it and there's no takeaway from it in any sense, right? You don't discuss it. You don't, I don't know, if it's just like kind of in one eyeball out the other, like, is it, maybe that's what makes it don't count? I don't know. I mean, if you want to call it a hobby, then I'll let you call it a hobby, because the term is too vague to really say, right, chat? That's the way I'm looking at it. So if you watch TV and you consider it a hobby of yours, go ahead. But I guess on the general, is it partially also just because too many people do it, in a sense? Maybe not necessarily. Like social media, browsing like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. That's kind of not a hobby either. Oh, only 2 more boons, chat. Artemis, Artemis, Artemis. So we're guaranteed a legendary here. Uh-oh.
Butterfly chamber. Okay, goodbye. In the name of
Right?
Hades.
Fully loaded, fully loaded, fully loaded. Patty, Patty. What happens if you run out of boons? They just start giving you money.
How can I be?
Second hammer, point blank.
It's yours. Thanks for this.
Oh, that's the mid. Let's go. You guys go out of your way to watch birds. It feels that way.
Pleasure doing business.
Come on, what is this? What's the point of buying that, really? Like nothing that I can see.
More strongbows.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Wife and I watch that show BattleBots. Great show about robots beating each other up. You know, competition kind of thing. Amazing show, highly recommend it. We can't really call it our hobby because we're not involved in any way, but we are watching the show. But I'm sure there are people out there that might have an interest in building their own robots, even if they don't necessarily get around to it, but maybe look into building robots. And then at that point, that turns it into a hobby in some sense, even if you don't physically do something. But I feel like if you just kind of get mentally invested in some way, I think it's possible to still consider it a hobby. There are different ways of watching. Purple exit wounds. That's the thing, it's kind of like, maybe? Is reading a hobby? A lot of people would describe reading as a hobby, I think, right? A lot of people might list under their hobbies reading as one of them. So reading counts? That's fascinating. Every Tinder profile, your hobbies are traveling, reading, eating good food. It's like, that's everybody. That's just everybody. Just because you went on a trip to Europe 15 years ago with your high school trip, I don't know if you can count that as a hobby. I would probably feel like reading counts if I read a little bit more myself, maybe, I wonder. I don't know. Ronnie, what's up? Thank you for the 34 months. You want to see what happens when we're out of boons? Reading counts as much as playing video games?
In the name of Hades.
I could see that. Spare wealth. Spare wealth, Twitch chat. Spare wealth. I mean, I think chances are if you're watching this stream right now, is there anyone here that would say that playing video games is not a hobby? What's up, French fry? Oh. It can be a job for Twitch streamers like me. Well, I mean, that's different. And I think that's a different conversation. I would say that it's not really much of a hobby for me anymore because I don't do it for pleasure, essentially. Like, I don't play video games outside of the stream for the most part, or it's incredibly rare. Boom. Video games are something you actively do. I mean, if we count video games, do we not have to count reading? I guess is what I was getting at.
Thank you for your support, my shade. Be seeing all of you next time, all right?
What games have I played off stream this year? Wife and I played Tangle Tower, Curse of the Golden Idol, and we started Monkey Island 2. We ruined games for this man. Nah, it's just something that happened. Too like worn out to want to like pick up a controller and stuff like that. It's much easier just to watch like TV, YouTube, etc. It's probably a lot harder for me to actually actively read something and process it all than it is for me to just play a video game semi-mindlessly. Not like actually mindlessly, like it's gonna take some amount of thought. Finally. Building models? Yeah, that's definitely a hobby, right, chat? 100%. Trains? Yeah, that's gotta be a hobby. An activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. So that is the definition of a hobby, huh? So I guess by the strict definition, from the Merriam of the Webster, we would have to say that,
Not yet.
like TV and stuff counts. Or at the end of the day, whatever you want to count probably counts as long as it takes up your personal time.
No way.
Bum, 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 bum. What'd I get? Centaur Soul. Did I at any point pick up a controller and think to myself, well, I'm going to play... If I'm going to play, I really should be streaming. Was that a disincentive to play? It's not that. It's just like I don't feel like it, I'd say. It's usually that I don't feel like it / I don't have the time to do it. One of those two things. How much money do I earn for buying this, by the way?
I'll take it.
Oh ho! Profit! Ugh. I mean, if a TV is just on in a room, then obviously, like, it's not the same thing if you just put that on. So here's another thing that's really passive, but a lot of people would consider a hobby, I think, when you think about it. Music, right? Just listening to music. I think a lot of people might list that as a hobby, even if you only do it for, like, you know, a few hours a week potentially. And that's as passive as you can get, right? You know what I mean? So I guess we kind of got to include it all. Oh my god. There might have been a time where I would have said that for myself. I definitely can't say it anymore. And it's not that I ever played music, created music, even researched music. The best thing I could say, though, is that I spent quite a bit of time simply looking for new music to listen to. So I think that, to me, made it kind of feel like a hobby, because I would have to, you know, actively search to try to find music like, oh, I like this, you know, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't really spend money besides just on the music itself, like when it comes to like the app, how I listen to it, like what kind of speakers, headphones, etc., like that stuff never was important to me. But it felt like a hobby just because of how much time I had to spend finding the music, you know what I mean? Now, we can all sit here and disagree with it, but I don't know, I probably would have said that though. Do 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 do. Bum 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 da 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 bum. Okay, when does the run get to end?
Thank the fates.
PP?
Juicy.
Bum, ba, na, na, na. You want to do a bet? You can do one for the Am I the Asshole Dink if you want. Since I owe. Watching a show, sharing theories, etc. I feel like I don't do that though. So wife and I watch a lot of murder mystery shows, or have, maybe not so much lately, necessarily. And we would often discuss like, wow, I can't believe how stupid that killer was. You know what I mean? Does that make it a hobby simply because we had a discussion about the show afterward in a sense? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's really hard to say. I don't think there's like a right answer here. It's kind of just down to what you think. Place your bets for the Am I the Asshole chat. 400 spare wealth. I think we can afford Hermes now. Doom ba do 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 bum.
Thank you, mate.
Tax speed don't do nothing.
Felt that. Joyfully.
Hobby means you're actively gaining skills? I don't think so. That's too narrow, I think. Actively gaining a skill? Like you have to practice juggling or something? I don't think so. Because if you just like to read books, you're not really gonna... If you just like to read like science fiction, I don't know what skill you're really actively gaining. Knowledge? I don't know. Do 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 do. You get better at reading? I mean... But then that's any activity, and so it kind of doesn't matter if we're going to count that kind of thing. I guess, is what I'm thinking. But then that's like literally anything that you could potentially even do. Watching TV, you could still argue that you get better at understanding, especially like complex shows with a lot of, you know, different elements of storytelling, like foreshadowing and stuff. You could get better at interpreting those things, could you not? Even just like simple reality TV shows, which I'm guilty of watching sometimes. Maybe you're better at reading people and things of that nature. So then that's just like quite literally everything.
Let's finish this.
You could get better at predicting. Like, you know what? Like, wife and I would watch... She like enjoyed watching House Hunters because it was relaxing, essentially, right? And so what do I gain from watching House Hunters? I kind of gained some knowledge of the housing market, step one, but also I would figure out just like the different patterns that would show up on the show itself. Like, oh, they always have to find something to argue about, basically, on the show. It was so annoying. Like, the couple involved is always just like, they always have to disagree on something. I want myself a media room. It's just like, what the fuck is a media room? What are you talking about? I want a credenza. It's like, no one has said the word credenza since 1860. And so you just know it got fed to them from the producers, you know? They got rid of the voiceover lady for the show? Wait, really? Now I'm kind of curious. Oh! 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 Well, okay, that was the easiest one god only run of our lives. I guess there was no way it was going to be bad in a sense, you know? I guess we kind of knew. New episodes have a host? Oh, that's weird. It was all in the attack damage, of course, too, which is no surprise. I mean, what do you even highlight here? You know, we had the Artemis smorgasbord, as we can see. Well done. And the DPS meter. I mean, it's just 50% the weapon attack. 32% was from shared suffering. So it's kind of interesting to see how much damage shared suffering actually did, and it's quite a bit. Range weapon is the cast. The Artemis call didn't do a whole lot. The Artemis cast didn't do a whole lot. Wait, is that what Artemis... No, Artemis ammo weapon... Oh, wait, what is Artemis ammo weapon? Oh, I think that's exit wounds. Artemis ammo weapon? I think that's exit wounds. Support fire is actually the Artemis legendary. Oh. Exit wounds did the same as mount as some of these others? That's kind of wild.